Real Housewives of Potomac, episode 8. So everybody's at another one of Giselle and Ashley's G&A events. Stacey brought TJ along again, and everybody's wondering where Karen is. Like Wendy said, I'm still very confused on this brand. Last year they were doing a runway show and it was a clothing brand. Now they have them up here working out, doing yoga or something on a rooftop. Like, I mean, it's a fitness brand, so I guess it was active wear before, but it's just like, what is the real end goal here? TJ's dancing, very questionable. So Giselle announces that Ashley's about to perform her song Healing and Thriving. And Mia and Wendy are in the audience like, Ashley, no. Like, exactly. We do not want to hear this. You got a bunch of people here, girl. Do not embarrass yourself. But she's going to. And they going to eat it up and act like it was good. Like Stacey said, I respect Ashley's courage and the fact that she's not scared to get out there and have fun, but she definitely needed some auto tune. She was literally singing live and it sounded a mess. So Giselle and Ashley basically tell everybody, thank you for coming out and be nice to somebody today. Giselle, I hope you take your own advice because you tend to be very shady. Ashley too, but she be playing dumb, like I said. So Mia, Kay, Wendy, and Jacqueline go to sit down, and Mia tells the ladies how Gordon is in mania again. So Ashley and Giselle also join, and Mia's acting like she's about to cry, but no tears are coming out. And she's like, Gordon kind of went off on Ink and told him he's an adulterer and we had an affair and blah, blah, blah. Everything we saw last week at the end of the episode. And she told on herself and mentioned how Gordon also mentioned how Mia had terminated a pregnancy by Ink while they were married. So all of the ladies are looking shocked and they're just like, what? But Mia was like, who is he to tell the world what I did with my body? And then Giselle was like, you know what? She's right. And she is right. Like, and they as women have no choice but to be like, okay, yeah, we do have to be on her side because she's saying something crazy now. But at the end of the day, he doesn't have the right to expose that if nobody else knew about it. And Mia said that Ink said if he's a trigger for Gordon, he'll remove himself. And Giselle was like, I don't know what Mia's trying to tell us this for. It's not tea. It's not drama. It's too much. Like, nobody really want to hear about all of this stuff with you, Gordon and Ink, because a lot of times it just sounds like you in the wrong too. But you definitely don't want to hear that. So why you keep telling us about what's going on? So Giselle told the ladies Karen didn't show up. She texted her and said she wasn't feeling well, but she was like, her court date is on Tuesday. So Giselle was like, let me tap into my first lady hat. And they had a prayer for Karen. So 2 days later, it's the day of Karen's court appearance, and we see her getting ready to go. So Karen's lawyer arrives, and her, the lawyer, and Ray get in the car, and they take the mics off because now they're about to talk about all the legal stuff. So we're probably not about to see or hear much more about this until after it's done. So we see Karen walking into the court, and she says she can't wait until this is all over so that she could finally talk about it. And of course, it cuts there because, like I said, we're not going to be able to go into the courthouse. So Mia and Kay are meeting up. They trying to get back on a good foot because, Lake Norman was a mess with the whole drug dealer boyfriend and all of that. But Kay said, Mia apologized, so she's willing to give her another chance and make amends. That confessional look that Kay had with the white on and the high padded shoulders, a mess. Take it off, burn it. So Mia being messy and nosy asking Kay, how is Karen? Have you talked to Karen? Kay says she does have a message for the ladies, but she wants to wait until everybody else arrives. But she said Karen is definitely not coming today. So Giselle, Wendy, Jazzy, and Stacey all arrive. So Kay finally gives the update that she got from Karen, and she said that Karen said things are looking good, but it got postponed today. So now she has to go back to court in September, which I'm assuming would have been September 2024. So now I am finally starting to see some genuine concern from the ladies for Karen. Mia and Giselle were saying that they've noticed she's losing weight. And Giselle and Kay were both like, yeah, she says she's not eating or sleeping regularly because of all of the stress from this case. And now it's extended 4 more months because they saying September was 4 months from when this was filmed. So I guess this was May 2024. So they was like, that's just going to drive her even more crazy to have to wait 4 more months for another court date. And Giselle said that Karen was very supportive of her when her parents passed away, so she wants to give the same to Karen. So Wendy was like, I heard that she could face jail time, house arrest, community service. It could be anything. And then in her confessional, she was like, Karen is my friend, but if she is found guilty of anything where she could have been putting somebody else in harm's way, that gives me pause. I would say if it was one time, I would try to be understanding, especially with all the grieving that Karen's been going through, and especially if it wasn't like a hit and run situation. Like, okay, if she did a DUI once, she was stressed out, she was grieving, and she made an irresponsible choice, but nobody was hurt. I'll give her a pass. But being that they said with Karen it's been repeated, I could understand why Wendy's saying that. So Giselle was like, I think we should FaceTime Karen. She tried to FaceTime Karen. Karen declined it, as she should, because as she was calling Karen, Mia was like, well, you should text her first and make sure she's not drunk. So back to the shady bullshit. And Stacy came to Karen's defense and was like, Karen does not drink around me. I don't even think she drinks anymore. And Mia said, if Karen doesn't drink, I'm celibate. And Stacy said, oh, well, then Karen must really be a drunk. Now, obviously, that was a joke and a response to Mia. But if it gets back to Karen and it gets twisted up, I could see that being an issue between Stacy and Karen. Because Stacy is new to this group, and I don't think she really understands how simple jokes like that can be twisted and taken as shade, especially depending on who delivers that message. Because Wendy was sitting there looking around, rolling her eyes at Stacy like, girl, you don't really know what you're doing and you don't really know who you playing with, making jokes with Mia and stuff. She'll get you into some shit. So it's Ashley's 36th birthday. We see her family coming over and her kids are making a cake. She says she's excited, but she's also a little nervous. She does feel like she should be a little further in life at 36. So she feels like she really has to get that ass in gear so that she could be where she wants to be by 40. Obviously, she wants to be divorced from Michael. She wants to have the G&A business doing better and things like that. So Ashley's family asked her what she was doing for the big day, and she told them that she wanted to take a hike on Sunday because she's going to a birthday party for a friend on Saturday. But Ashley's actual birthday is on Saturday. But that's when Wendy's having her birthday party. And Ashley was like, I am a little salty because didn't we already have a whole birthday party for Wendy at Lake Norman? So they were just talking about Ashley preparing for the mediation with Michael for their divorce. And her aunt was telling her, it's never going to be as amicable as it seems. So prepare for the worst and get ready to fight. Like, you have a lot to think about. After school activities, education, college costs, like, you have to take care of these boys and you need to make sure that everything is written that he's going to help. And Ashley kind of broke down and was like, it's just the finality of it all. That might be the last time that I see him while we're married. And her uncle comforted her, but he said what I think we're all thinking. It's a good thing. It's time for y'all to go y'all separate ways. And at the end of the day, y'all have children together. Y'all will see each other again. Y'all just won't be married anymore. And y'all will have to figure that out as far as y'all co-parenting relationship or the friendship that y'all could build. And like his uncle said, it's also a high chance that from you seeing Michael all the time because y'all have kids, he'll continuously remind you why you're making a good decision by getting this divorce. And her aunt was like, I basically feel like you were a child when you first started dating Michael. I don't know exactly how old Ashley was, but I'm assuming she was probably like 18, 20, 21. For her aunt to be saying that, you was virtually a child, in my opinion, when you started dating him. And then especially for Michael to be so much older than her. Like, Ashley's in her 30s. Michael is at least in his 50s, might be in his 60s. So we're not talking about a 5 or 10 year age gap. We talking about 20 plus. So Ashley's mom got there and they kept talking about it. And she was like, yeah, I'm just worried about us having to get into the nitty gritty. We're going to have to talk about things like infidelity. And that's where things could go from being amicable to being very tumultuous. And her uncle was like, but do you have legit proof of him cheating? And she said, yeah, it's on the internet. So then he was like, yeah, so you have nothing to worry about. But it's like, I don't think she's worried about, like, quote unquote, losing the mediation. I think she's just worried about her and Michael going from a place where they still cordial and cool and amicable to them, like, hating each other and how it can affect their kids. And her family was just telling her he wanted young, naive Ashley. He didn't want mature, blossoming Ashley. He wanted control. And basically, low key, like, he tried to groom you, girl. So we see Mia talking to Jacqueline, talking about she's on her way to pick Ink up from the airport because it's Friday. So the producers was like, last time we saw you, you said that you and Ink were taking a pause because he said he would remove himself because of what you and Gordon were going through. How short was this pause? Mia didn't have an answer, child. She said pauses are determined as long as we want them to be. She was stumbling all over her words, had to restart what she was saying about 2-3 damn times. So Mia gets off the phone with Jacqueline, picks Ink up. She gets out the car. They switch. So she goes into the passenger side. Ink takes the driver's seat. They all giddy like high schoolers, holding hands while he driving, child. They just so in love. So Ink and Mia were just talking about how Gordon constantly goes back and forth about how he feels about Ink. One day he's saying he's cordial with Ink. One day he's saying he looks at the guy as someone who made Mia terminate a pregnancy. And next time he sees him, it'll probably be all smiles. So they put something on the screen that showed Mia posted something showing Ink and Gordon talking. And it said, the level of joy to see my children's fathers laughing and fellowshipping is truly priceless. Children's father is crazy. But we know that's going to come up later. All of them are going to be asking her, what did you mean by your children's fathers? I thought all of your kids were by Gordon. So Wendy is talking to the party planner, and her and Eddie are just getting ready for her party today. She has assigned seating because we know all of the difficulties that her and Eddie's families have had, and there are people from both sides coming. Eddie gonna say, let's go in the house before I sweat out my Beijing. Yeah, go in the house before you have all that black shit running down your face like mascara, because that's a mess. So Karen came with Ray. He was talking about, is anybody going to take a splash? And Karen was like, nobody's taking a splash. Like, Ray is a little old and getting a little delusional, don't you? But Karen was like, yeah, it's good for me to be here and think about something other than the court case. And if any of these girls try me, I'm ready to read them up and down, left and right. Stacy bringing TJ everywhere now, child. So Giselle, of course, can't help herself. When she sees Karen, she's like, oh, Karen, you're free. You're free and amongst us. Like, you're free out of jail. Like, girl, stop trying to be funny. But then you was just saying, oh, I really want to be there for Karen. She was there for me when my dad died, this, that, and the third. This is why people don't know how to take you and Mia. Because y'all two are the most shady out of the bunch. Like, I would not know how to take them either. I wouldn't fuck with them. So Mia went up to Wendy's mom and she was like, I just wanted to say hi. We haven't met or seen each other since we exchanged words on Twitter. So apparently in 2023, Wendy's mom blasted Mia online about when Mia assaulted Wendy on camera. They were at dinner, I think at one of Karen's birthday parties. So Susan told Mia something about you're in my prayers. For once you're in my prayers, it's hard to forgive somebody, especially when they called you out your name. And y'all already know that NECA from last season has started this rumor about how Wendy's mom does voodoo and she has a shrine and stuff. So Mia was just looking kind of scared, like, okay. Mia don't want no parts of that, child. So Wendy's mom told Mia she's not a witch, she's a child of God. And Mia apologized for when she referred to Wendy's mom as the bird that flew away in the scene. So Wendy had a grand entrance to her party. She came on a boat. So Stacy asked Ashley what she was doing later that night. She said she's going to a drag king show. So apparently, you know how drag queens are men who dress up as famous women and usually will perform as them or impersonate them. Apparently, drag kings are women who dress up as like famous men and do the same thing. So Ashley will be doing that. She says sometimes she feels like she has a little dude in her. So Wendy's mom and some of her other family was talking and they was like how Eddie's sister Nora didn't say anything to them. She didn't speak. So it low key seems like the tension is rising. So TJ weird ass came over talking about, oh, Stacy, you over here talking to everybody except for me at the party. Mind you, a few minutes ago, Stacy was looking for him and he was over there talking to Ray. Now he mad that Stacy talking to Ray and Ashley. And he was like, get it together. No, you get it together. The fuck? There was this guy named Giano at the party who was Wendy's friend and he was kind of trying to talk to Ashley. And Giselle was like, no, he's trying to talk to everybody. Leave him in the streets. So all the ladies go to talk. So Giselle addressed Mia and was like, you know, at the GNA event, you told us all of this stuff about what was going on with you and Ink and Gordon, all of this personal sensitive information. You said they weren't getting along and you and Ink were taking a break. Now Ink is here and I'm seeing you and Ink and Gordon all kikiing and chummy together on Instagram. Like, what's going on? And Giselle was like, you know, Mia has lied about so many things. Remember when they were calling her cancer, no cancer? She said that Candace's husband had tried to talk to her and then later admitted that it was just a jab. So Giselle was like, I really can't believe anything that comes out of Mia's mouth. We don't know the truth about Ink and we don't know the truth about Gordon. So Mia is like, listen, at the end of the day, the fathers of my children can get along. And there's literally 30 seconds left of the episode. So why did they show this in the preview last episode and now they saving it for the end again? I hate when they do that. So we're not really going to get the answer to any of this until episode 9. Y'all starting to piss me off, Bravo. Moving like baddies and Zeus. So everybody was like, what do you mean the fathers? I thought Gordon was the father of all of your kids. And she was like, yes, the fathers. And the episode ends there. So I'll see y'all next week for episode 9 of Real Housewives of Potomac. Bye.